kids, do you remember what we're talking about this week? That's right, we're talking about a road trip. We're going on a road trip of life. Let's look and see what Johnny is learning today.
I should have just went with the others. Now what am I going to do? What would the masked hero do? I'll show them.
He's gonna jump! Do it! Do it! Do it!
Here goes nothing.
Hey kid,
What? Oh, sorry.
can you move so we can go down the jump?
Sure.
Are you going to go down?
I don't know.
Well, see you at the bottom.
Did Johnny's plan go the way that he thought that it would? No, he was scared, wasn't he? What happens when our plan or our road ends in a different way than how we thought it would go? That's right, we have to come up with a new plan. What happened at the end of this clip? Johnny was having to decide if he was going to follow the big kids over the big jump or if he was going to turn around and go back. It sounds like Johnny has some options that he can decide what steps he's going to take. That's what we're talking about today. We're talking about our steps take us closer or further away from our goals. You might have a goal in life. If you want to accomplish that goal, you need to take steps to get there. Oftentimes, those steps mean a word that's not our favorite word. It's practice. Practice, practice, practice. Because when we practice, practice makes us better. Look what I got this week. It's a brand new art set. Can you guess what I want to do with my art set? That's right, I want to paint a painting and become an artist. I'm very excited about becoming an artist. That's why I got my new paint set. Let's see how great of a picture I can make for you today. Ta-da! What do you think of my masterpiece? Isn't it wonderful? Wait, did you say it's not that good? Well, that's crazy. I got a new art set and I said I was gonna be a painter. How could you say my masterpiece isn't amazing? You think I need to practice? Well, that's probably right. The more I use my art set and I practice painting, the better my masterpiece is going to become. There's a scripture in the Bible that talks about this very thing. It's found in Proverbs 21:5. Good planning and hard work lead to prosperity, but hasty shortcuts lead to poverty. That verse teaches us that hard work and planning helps us to be successful. Practice makes us better. Do you remember when you were younger and you couldn't tie your shoe? Raise your hand if you can now tie your shoe. I can, but I remember when I was little, I didn't know how to tie my shoe. In fact, my mom bought me Velcro shoes, so I just had to put the strap over the top of my foot. As I got older, I learned how to tie my shoe, but it didn't just happen overnight. I had to practice, In fact, I remember my kindergarten teacher had a shoe in our classroom and we would practice tying our shoe. After a few times of practicing, I got a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better until finally I was able to tie my shoe, but it would be kind of loose and maybe I would walk around for an hour and it would start to untie and then I would have to do what again? That's right, I'd have to tie my shoe all over again. The more I did that, the tighter my shoelace got and the better I became at tying my shoe. Well, guess what? Now I can tie my shoe with no problems. But that's an example of that verse that we just read. I planned on, I want to learn to tie my shoe. And then I put in the hard work of practice that it took until I accomplished my shoe tying goal. That's part of what we're talking about today with practice makes us better. The more we practice at something, the better we're going to get at it. And that's going to help us to reach our goals on our road trip of life. Can you think of something else that you might practice to get better? I think of piano playing. When you practice playing piano, that makes you better at it. When I took piano lessons when I was younger, I started by just thumping the keys with my finger, one finger at a time, and then the better I got, the more I could use all of my fingers and it actually sounded like a song. But my mom made me practice for 1 hour every day. It wasn't always fun, but I definitely got better at playing the piano the more I practiced. This is true in lots of things. How about in sports? The more you practice sports, the better you get. How about in video games? I bet the first time you played Minecraft, you didn't just immediately play all the way up to the top level. No, you had to play level 1, and then level 2, and then level 3. And you probably had to figure things out along the way. That was practicing to get to your goal of being able to complete the game. When we put planning and hard work in, that helps us to succeed at our goals. Practice makes us better. In Acts 13, it tells us a story about Paul and Barnabas. Do you remember Paul and Barnabas? Paul used to be Saul the bully and then became Paul the Christian, and Paul the Christian became friends with Barnabas. Paul and Barnabas wanted everyone to know how wonderful Jesus was and all of the fantastic things that he did for them. They wanted to be missionaries, go all around the country telling people about Jesus Christ. They decided to do it, but that was their goal. Their goal was to tell as many people about Jesus as possible. Guess what they had to do to be able to do that? They had to plan. It took a lot of planning and a lot of hard work. They traveled all over their country and their neighboring countries by land and by sea. It took a lot of effort on their part to get their boats, to be able to travel on land, to have places to stay, and to even make contacts to meet people that wanted to know more about Jesus. A lot of effort went into reaching people, which was their goal. It makes me think about a trip that I went on. This last weekend I went on a fishing trip and I had a great time. In fact, I caught a really big fish. But I didn't just wake up one morning and say, I'm gonna go on vacation and catch a big fish today. I had to plan it out. I had to take time off of work. I had to book a hotel room. I had to find a boat and also get fishing gear to be able to catch the fish. It took a lot of effort and planning, but I made my goal of catching a big fish because of that effort and planning. What is your goal? Do you have one? Maybe it's to hit the baseball in your little league. If you are struggling at being able to hit the ball, what should you do? That's right, practice. When you practice hitting a wiffle ball in your backyard, you might not think practicing this wiffle ball is gonna make my baseball go over the fence and get a home run. But the more you practice your hand-eye coordination, the better you're going to be at hitting a home run. Practice makes us better. As we go about our next week, let's work on setting some goals. And not only setting a goal, but also practicing that which will help us to find success. Thanks so much for joining me today. I can't wait to see you next week.